Welcome to my new park building series, A Better Jurassic World. In this series I will build my own Jurassic World where I will do unique takes of the habitats from the original park. In this episode I will start out building the iconic main street as the heart of the park and adding my first unique touch with the Mosasaurus pathart in front of the lagoon. Make sure to subscribe to not miss the series and the next episode where we'll build my own version of the T-Rex kingdom, and don't worry, except the main street, this park won't be recreation but a completely different looking park. Enjoy! And with that said, hey guys, Legion here and welcome back finally to the new park building series. Welcome to the Better Jurassic World. And this park will of course not be a recreation. I don't ever plan on doing a Jurassic World recreation. Especially not just because I first of all think that the park itself doesn't look that good, but also because the things that are actually in the Jurassic World are super difficult to recreate in this game without mods, that is, because without mods you can't recreate the Rex Kingdom very well, you can't really recreate the water park or the petting zoo, you can't recreate most of those things. So what we're going to be doing will be a Jurassic World inspired park, the Better Jurassic World, where we'll start out building the main street as you can see right now in the background. I'm building the main street in the speed build. And then from there, we will be taking the habitats from the movie and from the park that were, you know, the Jurassic World park, or even the habitats that we didn't see in the movie, and taking those and doing my own interpretations and really pretty much completely different versions of those. For example, we're going to be doing our own version of the T-Rex kingdom, of the petting zoo, of the gyrosphere tour, of the river cruise even, that we have also coming up, which I have a really cool idea for how to actually build those boats and the river cruise in this game. And yeah, stay tuned for that, because that's really something I've never seen done before, and I think it's a really insane trick. And yeah, we're just going to be taking all of those different habitats from the Jurassic World in the movie and then turning them into our own versions and building an awesome looking Better Jurassic World. I don't know about you, but I've already seen quite a bunch of Main Street recreations in Jurassic World. Some were pretty good and some were actually, I would say, not that good. And this one was actually mostly built out of my head and out of the what I can remember from the Main Street in the movie and from the Main Street recreations I've seen in this game, because when I was looking for good images of this, it was pretty difficult actually, and also for the images you saw in the intro of this video, it was kind of difficult to find those. But yeah, anyways, I'm now building the Main Street, and this Main Street isn't even entirely accurate to the movie, and it's still different from what the movie has to offer, and I think that's a good thing, because we don't want to just replicate what has already been designed for the movie. We want to do our own thing. It's just Jurassic World inspired. So yeah, I copied that path design. Of course, the lagoon in front of the main street is still there, and then in the end I built, of course, the visitor center, but different from the movies. There's actually like a bigger plaza around the visitor center. I'm pretty sure that in the movie there are only like small paths going from that visitor center, but again, in the movies we don't even get a good look at most of the park and also that area with the visitor center. And yeah, so there's an area around that. Then in the next episode we will build the Rex Kingdom on the left side. And also what I did in this episode, you're gonna see that be done, is a Mosasaurus pathart that I built right in front of the lagoon instead of the sort of beach area that was there in the movie, the beach area with the hotel area. We're also gonna build the hotel area, of course, but move that to a completely just a pretty different area and not have that like in front of the lagoon like it was in the movies. Instead there we have more of the park, and we're also gonna build a second lagoon at some point housing a different species, and that may be a Dunkleosteus or a Megalodon, something that I feel like if the Jurassic World wouldn't have been destroyed or evacuated by the Indominus Rex breakout, there would have actually probably had a second lagoon with maybe something like a Megalodon or a Dunkleosteus, just one of those species that are pretty popular and pretty awesome. And then another thing I've never really done before in this game, but I want to try out with this park, is building a backstage area for the park. I actually started that a little bit, sort of the backstage infrastructure in this build, and that is on the left side of the main street. There's this sort of tunnel that goes behind the buildings where the workers would go, and then where also maybe the jeeps could drive along. Then we're also gonna have backstage areas in the habitats, in at least for most of the habitats. For the ones I've built at this point, I've already built the Rex Kingdom, and most of the Rex Kingdom I've already built. And there is on one of the sides, there's of course all of the areas for the for the visitors, and then on the other side you have the area, the little tunnel, just like right here, for the workers and for the jeeps to drive in, for all of the food maybe to be stored, for the cages to maybe be stored, just for the backstage access for the T-Rex Kingdom. So then at some point I also want to build like a backstage area and another habitat that sort of ties in maybe with like the whole backstage and yeah, just backstage vibe. That is the Indominus habitat that I want to build a finished version of. In the movies we only see an Indominus paddock that is really it's a really high security habitat, and it was never really integrated for the viewer, for the guests, for the visitors. But that was, of course, we all know that was the plan of the Jurassic World, to have at some point the Indominus be viewable for the guests and to actually be like a facility, an actual habitat in the park. But that never got to be, of course, because the Indominus broke out and sort of destroyed the park. But this right here, this is an actual good park, okay? In this park, the Indominus will not break out. The Indominus will actually be integrated for the visitors, and it will be like a special secluded Indominus area with the, you know, big Indominus Rex. Then we're also gonna be building the secret area of Jurassic World, the restricted area. That was, if you didn't know, the restricted area held the Carnotaurus and Sinoceratops that were never available for the park visitors. And I think I'm either gonna do a restricted area where they're gonna be held and it's not gonna be guest available, or we're actually gonna be building a special adventure for the guests with the Carnotaurus and Sinoceratops. And then we're also gonna probably be building a small version of the Camp Cretaceous. That could be a very fun idea, though I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that, because it's quite difficult to actually achieve a Camp Cretaceous in you know, in unmodded Jurassic World Evolution 2, because you can't really build like those tree houses. I know that some people have done like Camp Cretaceous builds without mods, but I think it's not really gonna have the same effect, because I only want to build like a small Camp Cretaceous area with maybe like 1 or 2 things in it, and I think we probably can't achieve that proper look in there, but I'm at least gonna try to do it. And then also the whole layout, of course, of the Jurassic World is kind of different to the parks we usually build in this game, and that is that most of the areas are split out from one another and not connected. They're only connected via the monorail. I think I'm gonna keep this up for some sections, though instead of just doing one area for the aviary and one area for the gyrosphere tour, I'm probably gonna work multiple habitats into one area instead of just having one area always for one habitat. But yeah, I really hope that you guys are just as excited for this new park as I am. I was kind of, yeah, I'm really happy. I'm just gonna say that I'm finally done with Evergreen Park. It's not like Unity Park, where I was really just stressing to finish the park and it was pretty much just a pain to finish the park. I really had fun building that last habitat and building those last few habitats, and I think especially the last stretch, like from the Spinoraptor habitat and onwards, really was just made pretty perfect by me, and I love how that turned out, and I love all those habitats and had fun building all of them. But I'm happy to finally be in a not laggy park and be able to start freshly and come up with a completely different concept for a park. Also because the last park, the Evergreen Park, was pretty linear in the way that, you know, the park, that you go through the park and that the pathing goes through the park, because the whole idea was that the park loops around the entrance, the habitat around the entrance, and that was a pretty big area, so I couldn't, you know, do that many paths going like away from the main course going around that habitat, because then the park would have been too big, and it's already a huge park with how it is now. So that's why the path progression, I could say, I think you guys know what I mean, was kind of linear in that path. It wasn't, in that park, it wasn't really that interesting. For example, in this park, of course, because the areas will be separated with the monorail, it's going to be a lot different, and then one area will be a lot smaller, and the pathing will be pretty different than how I did it in Evergreen Park. That's just what I want to say. And yeah, it's just a really refreshing project to do. Of course, I'm now returning to the tropical biome again after my tropical park, but I really like the tropical biome. I love the dirt brush that you get in that biome. I like building in there. You can build really nice lush habitats. I love the banana plant, using that a lot, all of those trees. So yeah, I think I'm not actually that mad at, like, it's not a problem for me to return to this biome, because I do really like it, and some of my best parks, and I've always been in this biome and I've always had fun building in it, and I'm gonna have fun building in this again. And I'm currently really motivated to build, so I'm just doing a lot of building right now, and then once I may be a little bit burnt out with the park and I have like a period where I don't really have that much inspiration, I can just have some footage of the park actually that I've recorded previously, and then, you know, sort of record faster than I put the videos out, so that once, you know, I don't want to build that much, I can just have already footage done and I can release that. So yeah, I'm super excited to start this project. I hope you guys are too. And now we're actually already nearing the end of this whole speed build, so I'm just gonna quickly talk something about this path art that I did right here, the Mosasaurus path art. I originally came up with this idea way back in my, I think I called it the Jurassic Ruins Isla Nublar park. You guys never saw that park right here, but I actually showed that to Eva once in one of her streams when she did like looking at the community's parks or something like that. And yeah, many people like that idea of the Mosasaurus path, and I've seen many people actually adopt that since, so and I've always been really happy to see that. And now I've made sort of a better version of that. I've taken more reference on an actual Mosasaur, and I think the shape looks a lot better than what it did before. So yeah, I hope you guys love that Mosasaur path art too. I think it turned out really nicely, and it's a nice sort of personal touch to this park that already makes it different from the actual Jurassic World in this first episode, even though we're pretty much just recreating the main street. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Of course, see you guys in the next episode of this and the next video. I hope you enjoy the cinematics, the quick little cinematics, and you like how I interpreted the main street of Jurassic World. Bye bye.